Video games, the worst epidemic plaguing today's society. Over 70% of Americans play video games, the source of the country's downfall. As a result, video games and the industry that produces them are exposing younger and younger children to issues of drug abuse, addiction, sexism, violence, and creating an inexplicable urge to collect coins and raise points. A yellow circle, with a mouth in constant motion, moves along a field, through a maze, eating dots. Chased by ghosts, it moves in fear. Finally, at the farthest reaches of the maze, it eats a power pellet, gaining the power to confront and devour the ghosts in pursuit. The hunter has become the hunted. The scene described, a children's video game, Pac-Man. A game teaching children the apparent powers that illegal drugs and substances can awake within them.
I want to be like Pac-Man.
We now turn our attention to one of the most well-known names in video games today, Super Mario Bros.
Parents see nothing more but a silly-looking fat man stomping on mean creatures. But behind this facade of happy clouds and princesses is a psychedelic trip rivaling that of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This detestable game teaches children that it's safe to randomly pick up and consume strange mushrooms and flowers. Essentially, Mario instills that the ideas of drugs are necessary to complete everyday tasks, such as trampling on the weak and ignoring social laws.
Normally, one would not associate video games with such topics as animal cruelty or other anti-animal rights activities. However, in the world of Pokemon, this is not the case.
Pokemon, like this little guy right here, are strange, ever-evolving creatures from Japan. The game promotes animal abuse and animal cruelty. They are taken away from their homes, stuffed into little balls like this guy, and they are made to fight to the death with each other. Poor little guy. Pokemon is nothing more than glorified virtual dogfighting.
Pokemon are a virus corrupting the minds of children and adults alike, glorifying evolution, the supernatural, and above all, pointless violence. This fictional world does nothing more than sugarcoat the instruments of occult and evil. Their catchphrase, "Gotta catch them all," fuels their obsession with cards, games, and toys. They brainwash the children and turn them into little Satanists that will one day rule the world.
It is appalling at how games targeted for children can be filled with such dark themes and yet still be so addicting. One title in particular has risen as a giant of its genre. A game that is not only incredibly addicting, it is aimed both at teens and adults alike. It is the World of Warcraft, a game that has claimed more productive man-hours from those who play it than the entire relief effort put in to save the citizens of Haiti from their recent disaster. Affecting not only the physical and mental well-being of the subject, it drives their antisocial behavior. It makes them into loners, vagabonds, someone who will ninja loot, simply for the lulz.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
Ah!
Well, we emailed you about conducting an interview.
No, go away.
You did say yes.
No.
First off, how long have you been playing this MMO? 1 year, okay. Do you have any friends outside of WoW? Do you have a girlfriend? What's your character's name?
Do you have any idea what I'm doing here? No distractions. Go away.
What level are you at?
Fuck off.
Okay. Well then, thank you for your time. I hate this job.
Taking a lesson from the movie industry, video game creators have learned to leverage one key tool to generate sales: sex. It is present in nearly every video game title on the market, appealing predominantly to males and to a lesser extent females. Market data shows that, yes, sex does indeed sell. In fact, entire genres of games are based solely around scantily clad women bouncing around the screen, sporting giant jiggly breasts that bounce just like the real thing.
I don't have a problem with the violence in video games, but the sexism is so demeaning and so insulting. Women are always portrayed like they need some kind of help, some kind of Prince Charming to come save the day, and then they wear practically nothing. How is that supposed to deflect any kind of damage? Honestly, they're not even looking for any kind of personality, just giant, juicy melons.
We turn now from juicy melons to the topic of fighting games, a genre commonly rife but not only with scantily clad women, but bouts of combat. Violent, brutal combat. Is this acceptable behavior? Should this be tolerated in a civilized society? Should the Konami Code be outlawed? This scene is all too common in America today. After such horrific tragedies as Columbine, one can only ask how these situations can be avoided. The first-person shooter, however, is wholly to blame. They are used by groups such as the KKK and Al-Qaeda as a training exercise in terror. These games are used to teach the young men and women of the world to destroy their enemy with the biggest gun they can find. They are divided into teams of red versus blue, which forces them to learn hate, malice, and that pink is just a different shade of red. In this small town in America, an intervention takes place. Little Timmy, not so little anymore after 10 years and over 1 million man-hours spent grinding fat loot, is finally being confronted by friends and family about his dangerous addiction. We've been invited by his family to record this event so that you might learn to take action for someone you know who has fallen prey to video game addiction.
This needs to stop!
You're letting this ruin your life.
Don't care.
We're only doing this because we care about you.
Whatever. You can't keep living your life this way.
Yes, I can.
Are you listening to us?
This scene unfolded, like many others, and in such a way that many more will, unless something is done to curb video game addiction. It's a vile disease infecting our youth that must be stamped out, and you must do your part.